Good evening and welcome to the Black Feather and Ospreys Rugby Fancast. And we're off URC duty. So we had a little brief spell of URC after the internationals, and now we're very much in European territory. But in more exciting news, we're half a century and not out, Rod. We're
Look at
50
us.
episodes in.
Big birthday.
We
Time to
we are
celebrate.
halfway towards our tattoos. Like, I know you and Mark are not as invested in that as I am,
I'll
but
get a further tattoo. I've got a few tattoos, so I don't mind adding another.
how
We
many
just
you
got to
got
get
now?
there first.
We'll get there, I believe.
How many am I on? I'm probably on maybe about 5 or 6 without actually counting them.
Hampton.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
I'm on 18 now.
I knew you'd beat me.
Still a disappointment to my mother. Got a mishmash of styles. Got some dot work going on. I've got some Disney. I've got some traditional anchors and a swallow. I've got some
hmm
Pictish runes on me. Got a Bohemian sun and moon. I'm just, there's no
Mine are
theme.
a bit of a mishmash as well, but they're all sort of within the, oh, what do you want to call it? I guess like nature
Universe.
theme.
Yeah,
So lots of animals and plants and bits and bobs like that. So yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool.
But anyway, we're 50. That's why I
We're
wore
50.
my gold shirt today
We're
because
50.
it
Um,
feels like the most festive and the
it
most
is. It's,
celebratory
it's
of
that
my
kind of,
shirts.
yeah, it's that kind of vibe. And what better way to celebrate than with a heart attack and a win?
Yeah, victory pod.
It is a victory pod. Woohoo! We won.
Yeah.
Don't care how it happened,
hmm
how nerve-wracking it was. We had a win. Now, I going in a half time 21-5. I did not have a win on my bingo card. Not at all. Um, I just thought we were done and dusted. We were dead ducks in the water at half time. Um, and then that second half happened,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
was a bit like, okay, tale of two halves, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
A Mark Jones masterclass in giving halftime team talks, apparently.
head rioters, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
head riot
because that was
treatment.
a different team that came out afterwards, and I mean we'll get into it. There's probably quite identifiable reasons as to why the performance improved. But yeah, talk about a tale of two halves. Um,
Yeah,
Not a single
absolutely.
point within the first 40 minutes. I know we scored within the first half, but it was at minute 43
44,
of that
yeah,
first half.
44
So
something, wasn't it?
technically we did go a full 40 minutes without scoring a
No,
point, and then
yeah,
ran away with it points wise in the second half,
yeah,
and
90, 19 and
Connacht
answered.
did the opposite. Yeah,
Can't ask for more than that. But let's talk about that first half. That first 20 for Connacht, they were very much in control, were they not?
yeah, and a lot of that derived from set piece, didn't it?
Yeah,
Garen Phillips, young lad, he had a bit of a stinker that first 20 minutes until he took his yellow card and forced the personnel change, which then dramatically improved
it
our
changed it, didn't it?
performance overall because it gave us a grounding to actually launch our attack plays off, which we didn't have in that first 20 minutes where we were just giving pen after scrum pen. Yeah, the key moment where it changed was when was it? Yeah, it was about 20 minutes in, wasn't it? It was
Yeah,
after Garen Phillips went off, so we had to make a
right.
emergency substitution so that we can
Yeah,
continue with competitive scrums. And we brought Gareth Thomas on, and we had a scrum on our own 5 meter line. And you thought, oh Christ, here it goes again. We're going to give another pen here, maybe take another card or give away a
and he
penalty
didn't.
try, or they're just going to score off first phase attack off the back of that scrum. And Gareth Thomas came on and completely reversed the situation, and we got a scrum pen, cleared our lines, got out to the danger zone, and that was the story for the next 60 minutes, really, scrum wise. We were
Yeah,
pretty
solid.
dominant most of the time, and if not, we were holding our own. So Yeah, that's probably the one major factor that this game can get boiled down to, and it was who was getting the most parity at scrum time, and whoever that was, they were the ones scoring the points, and it was
Yeah,
that 20-minute marker where it really changed.
yeah. I think it was a very bad day at the office for poor Karen. And you could sense that frustration when he got sent off for his
Mhm.
yellow card, bless him. Um, some not very nice comments on social media and things like that. But he is a young lad. He's learning his trade. It was just a bad day at the office. That's all he was as far as I'm concerned. Um, and it did. It switched it up when Gartom came on.
Yeah.
We've got to say a
They
great
obviously
thing
lost
about
Finley Bealham early on as well, which changed the dynamic
changed it again.
slightly.
Yeah,
So it's difficult to identify, the specifics. Was it Finley Bealham's presence, and then when he went off, it was just
just that.
good timing for Gartom as he came on then, and then British and
Yeah,
Irish Lion went off, or was there less to it or more? You don't know. So
you
yeah,
don't. Yeah, and
you can't give him too hard of a time. He's a young guy, and he hasn't hit his prime yet.
it's the dark arts in the scrum, really, isn't it? I don't think unless you played in the scrum, you really know
Yeah,
100% what goes on there. We obviously have to say congratulations to Bota for his 150th outing.
yeah.
Um,
Huge
if you see
achievement,
my dog's
massive
head
achievement.
floating, she's crawling me for a tweet. Do you want to be involved on the 50th episode, you boo? Show me
She's a
a haircut.
massive Tom Butter fan.
She's obviously heard it and just thought, or it could be the popcorn chicken treats that I got for her on the windowsill that she knows are there.
Yeah.
I think it's them than anything else. Um, but obviously, big congratulations to him. Um,
Yeah, hell of an achievement. What a stalwart.
yeah,
And I'm
you
still
know,
concerned about what happens post Botha,
yeah,
because
yeah,
we haven't answered that question yet.
not yet, no. Um, Ratty, I did feel a bit sorry for Ratty and his yellow card with his apparent deliberate knock on, which didn't seem like a deliberate knock on to me when I watched it back. But hey, what do I know? A lot of frustration with. I think we were sat next to each other when you came over and sat by us because we had some dropouts due to this nasty flu that's going around. And there were occasions where it was like, ref, seriously now, how many times are you gonna penalise? I felt that Connacht got away with a lot of stuff where they were, penalised and no cards came out until what the 63rd minute or something for them. So I did think they were rather lucky
Hmm.
with regards to that. But I did think, oh, you we go after that first 20 minutes. I'm not gonna lie. But we kept faith.
Yeah.
Jeeves went over for a really nice try. Again, we can't really call it the first half, can we? At like 44 minutes. Um, they go in for their team talk, and then they came out with a big bang. I think the weather did us some favours as well. I know it's not all sunshine and rainbows in Connacht, but that rain and that wind in Bridgend from about the 60th minute was something else, wasn't it? It
Yeah,
was just
it's a,
insane.
a switch was flicked, wasn't it? All of a sudden,
Yeah,
and conditions changed, wind changed direction, and just started swirling. We were making note of it in the first half, weren't we? Because
yeah.
some of Dan's kicks were going awry, but we were looking at the trees and we are going like, we can't see any
It's not
movement
going
up
up.
there. It feels
Yeah.
quite still, and then just suddenly it changed.
It wasn't
And
until you saw the wind and you saw the
yeah,
direction of the wind because there wasn't just one rain direction. It's
hmm
really hard to describe unless you were there seeing it because at one point the rain was swirling. So it was coming this way and that way at the same time. And it was like they were really strange kicks then for Dan to miss. And you could see a couple of the players like picking the grass up and doing the whole pick the grass up and see where it was going kind of thing. And I just don't think they could predict where the wind was gonna swirl.
yeah.
Um, Obviously he had that little trip when he had his last conversion as well. So he was really blunt, like really lucky that he got that over because he had a bit of a trippy slide kind of thing.
I was
Um,
jokingly saying to the guys around us, he's not used to playing with a roof without a roof on now. He's used to being in the nice
he's not, is
sheltered
he?
principality with retractable roof and perfect conditions.
Yeah, I
Get
know.
back
And
in
it was
that
like,
mud hole, Dan.
yeah, it was like get used to that, get used to it, love. We need this weather on New Year's Day again against Cardiff.
Yeah,
Um,
very true.
but then we had three nice tries in the second half with Big Phil. Um, which were you there when I said about him being big all over? Did I say that to you?
You did, yeah.
I did, yeah. Um, we were just talking about how in proportion he is, like with his
Well,
legs
I think
and
what
his
we were
upper
doing,
strength.
we were comparing him against Boshoff, weren't we?
We were,
'Cause
yeah.
and I said
Not in a bad way, Bosh.
he's thicker than Boshoff in every proportion, in every part of his body. His thighs twice as thick, his arms twice as thick, his neck twice as thick. He's a different shaped human being to Boshoff, isn't he? And then you said,
Wonder if that applies all over. I can't help myself. I cannot help myself. Um, Funnily enough, I spoke to Phil at the end of the game, and I just selfie with him. He saw it. And he was like, "Oh, you coming to Montauban?" I was like, "No, wedding, end of the week, not my wedding, I keep saying that. The end of the week after, and in conveyancing land, Christmas is the most busy time ever. So I've never got any hopes of going anywhere in December for any European games, not unless I win the lottery and give up. But he was solid. And they said, he's had a really good couple of outings and he's back enjoying his rugby.
yeah.
Also, really nice first try for Ryan Smith as well.
hmm Which on
Really,
the day was deemed to be Harry Deaves's work, wasn't it? And then the
yeah,
Ospreys came out after the fact and tweeted that, oh, sorry, we accidentally attributed this one to a Deavesy, but it's actually
it's
Ryan Smith's
Ryan Smith,
try.
yeah.
And that wasn't just their mistake. I think the cameras
Everybody
focused on
thought it
Deavesy
was.
afterwards, in the live broadcast. Yeah, so that's quite funny, isn't it?
Yeah, and I was speaking to his I don't know if she's his wife or his girlfriend. They have the cutest little baby who is such a flirt. And they had him in a Dalmatian, like fluffy, furry onesie. I was
Mhm.
like, oh my God, cutest Dalmatian ever. It was like having a right little flirt. But really nice for him to be out of the starting blocks with a try. And again, he just followed on from the rugby that he plays down under for me. He was great for the Reds, and I just thought he'd been a cracking addition for us as well coming in. Um, and then we had Yestin Hopkins try, which may or may not have been as a result of some forward passings, but were
Yeah.
we who are we to argue? Um, don't know if you've seen some stats that came out over the weekend. Um, Deepsy was top of the tree with tackles with 27.
Which is a
Nearest,
phenomenal count, isn't it? It's a huge
yeah,
number of
nearest to him was
tackles.
20. Nearest to that was 23.
Well, so in the game we weren't managing to do a lot around the breakdown. Um, Connacht were diving all over the ball, throwing bodies just flat on top of it, and cutting off any opportunity for
Stealing it off.
competitive jackling. Um, So I think he was a bit shut out of the game in that facet. So maybe
Yeah.
he decided early on, right, I'm going to reinvest my energy elsewhere and just put in a monumental amount of tackles. Yeah,
At one point, he
20,
had four
20.
of them held down, which I thought was really impressive. And they were trying to pull him back, and he was like, "No, mate, get off."
Yeah,
Um,
because it
and I
did
love
look
him for
quiet by
that
his standards,
scrappy.
didn't he? He
Did,
didn't
but it
have as
was.
many of those moments that you expect of him because
Yeah,
yeah, he was just doing the dirty work. And it paid off, didn't
quietly
it?
efficient,
Yeah,
quietly efficient.
yeah,
Um, but it was nice to be back in Brewery. I think there were about 3,500 people there, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it sounded like a lot. People really started to cheer and chant in the second half when we thought, oh, a comeback is on you.
Yeah.
lots of people in the shed and on the terrace. And it just felt like a really cauldrony
Yeah.
atmosphere to
Well,
me. I just
our
thought it was
three and a half
great.
thousand sounded twice the number of Scarlett's supposed 7,000.
Six.
So
Mm, you're
shots
lying.
fired. Yeah.
Well,
But no, atmosphere was great, and
it was
considering it
good.
was a 5 p.m. kickoff on a Sunday. Sorry, what was it? Three half
3:50.
3:15 kickoff on a Sunday in howling weather.
It was
Um,
bad.
yeah, yeah, it was decent. It was a good atmosphere. I enjoyed it there. Terrace
Well,
was full again, so yeah, no complaints.
we were down three people because of the flu, and quite a number of people that I would normally expect to see there. Um, it took us over an hour to get there from Swansea, and we're obviously east side of Swansea, so normally 20-25 minutes on a good run. It took us over an hour. We had to go through Margam and the back roads through Pyle and all around there. So I don't think the weather helped at all in this nasty flu bugs that's doing the rounds around here, well, all across South Wales really. Um, but I do think that it was a really, really good crowd. I'm really hoping for a good crowd now on the 19th for Munster, um, because again, people will be starting to, and that's at like a 5:30 kickoff, isn't it? So I'm hoping for a good crowd for that. But it was a really, really nice atmosphere, I thought, with everything that was going on. And, you didn't get your bovril.
No, no, and I have got a bee in my bonnet about this. Stock Bovril at the brewery, please. I'm begging you.
I'm just going to bring a flask for you next
I,
time.
I keep going up to the bar and they keep acting every time as if they've just run out, but I
Yeah,
know they haven't. They're just
they just
telling me
haven't
that.
got it.
Yeah, they just haven't got it, but they keep pretending as if they should normally have it. Um, just be straight with me. If you have no
Just
intention
that
of getting
we
it,
ain't
I'll bring
got
my
it. We're
own.
not getting it.
But I
We're not
queue up
doing it.
every time and walk away with a hot chocolate instead, which isn't good for my teeth.
It's not the best hot chocolate either.
Oh
Like,
God, it was awful. And I forgot to stir it this time because they don't do that for you. That's
no, that's a
that
health and
that
safety
that comes at
hazard,
an
Rod.
extra service tip that does. You got to do that yourself, and if you forget, you're scalding your finger in the
You're
stands
screwed,
trying to
yeah.
do it.
Um, I had posh coffee and a posh hot hazelnut hot chocolate from the other end, from the
Mm.
the, the coffee. I don't know what they call coffee brown
The
or something like that.
artisanal coffee van.
It was nice. It was really, really nice. John had a latte. I had a hazelnut latte and a hazelnut hot chocolate. Also bought Grant from the OSC and the IRE podcast a donut because I was on OSC duty with him in the marquee.
Yeah.
Um, Bought him a biscotti donut. That was gone in 3 bites, I think. Me and John had like a salted pretzel chocolate brownie, which was really lovely. We shared that between us because again, super, super sweet. Um, but I'm liking the street foodie vibe that they've
Mm.
got going on there. So
Yeah.
if we can continue that in St Helens, that would be
And
amazing.
and I got paparazzi'd, if that's the word, by
Yeah.
Focus
Oh,
Photography. Which was quite surprising as well. To my cousin actually spotted it on his
loads of people
story
sent it to
and
me.
sent it to me. I didn't see it organically myself, even though I do follow them because I know that they do the Osprey stuff and other sports photography in South Wales, and they put out some really good stuff, don't they? But yeah, on their story, a nice black and white
It
or
was really nice
grayscale
picture of
number of
you.
me. Yeah, it was, wasn't
Really
it?
nice
With
picture
Guinness
of
in
you.
hand, leaning over the barriers, watching the boys warm up before
Warm up.
kickoff.
Yeah,
So yeah,
lovely, lovely picture of you. In other news, I was announced an Aussie's drum.
yes, you were. We got a little video of it as well.
I was
Sam
so happy.
in her happy place.
Do you know what, though? That coincided with our comeback. So I'm not saying that I'm personally responsible, but coincidence? Who knows? Um, but all in all, we came away with 4 tries, 2 conversions, and a win.
Yeah. And I think what was most impressive, we know now that under Mark Jones and this new playing style that we can score tries. We haven't got the same DNA that we did even just 12 months ago under Toby Booth.
Yeah,
We are a different kind of team. Um, and our ability to put things behind us and just crack on and just try and play our best rugby minute to minute is what is really impressing me at the moment. And I think that derives a lot from Dan and his mentality as a player. We've praised him
yeah.
for it before that never say die, just keep fighting, forget
Keep
about what's
going.
just happened, put your mistakes to bed and just crack on mentality. And that seems to be percolating out to the team now. I was listening to Dragon's Lair pod yesterday or the day before, whenever it came out. And those boys were saying, we're looking at the Osprey score in admiration, saying, if we
Yeah,
were 21 points down, there's no chance of us coming back from that deficit and going on to, let alone win the game, win the game, sorry, let alone get back to within touching distance. They even said
yeah,
comically that if they were 21 points ahead, they'd still lose. So they were just praising our ability to put that behind us and come out at half time and go, right, we can still claw our way back into this and we can still win this. And that's what the boys did. Mega impressive stuff. Didn't give Connacht a sniff in that second half and just clearly made some wise tactical decisions at half time based on what they'd experienced in the first half and adapted to what was in front of them. So it was impressive from that perspective for me, beyond just the fancy tries and Ruben Morgan Williams taking that fast tap for Phil's try, just
yeah. I
showing
love
real
that.
hunger and vision to run it 15 meters back there and get in the right side of the ref so that he looked upon that quick tap favorably. Just those, there's all that amazing stuff as well, but fundamentally the ability to just come back from that mental low and win in the end with
Yeah,
5 minutes to go. It's great stuff, isn't it? It's what we
and
watch rugby for.
yeah,
They were just at danger just before they scored before the end of the first half, just so close to losing the will of the crowd. Because there
yeah,
was, we were 21 points down and everyone was just sort of looking at it and go, oh my God, where's this going? This is embarrassing, isn't it? And then they got that try and they just rescued that game because I think if the crowd went, then maybe they wouldn't have been able to claw that back.
yeah.
But because they
They
just
got
rescued
that
it at the
goodwill
right
from that
time,
try.
yeah, it gave us a bit of energy, and then we fed off each other, and there was no stopping them then, was it?
No,
From
no.
going, not being able to get out of our own 22 to just keeping Connacht pinned back for 40 minutes was,
Yeah.
yeah, it was great.
And what I liked as well, that there were obviously things that Connacht were doing with regards to they practically lived offside.
Yes.
How it wasn't pinged by you know, I'm going to be old school now, the linesman. I don't know because it was blatant in some sections. Again, sealing off the ball right in front of the linesman. That got super annoying. Um, but it was nice to see players like Harry speaking up and saying to the ref, "Look, this is what they're doing." And a couple of the players were really vocal with the ref, and I love rugby for that because they'll go, "Sir, sir." They're all really, really polite, but I love the fact that they weren't afraid to show that leadership quality on the field either.
Yeah, yeah,
And just say, look, this is what they're doing. All right, it fell on deaf ears, but at least they've planted that seed there because I think that's a really good thing to do with the ref as well. Because
yeah.
if there's an element there that you're struggling with the ref, start planting those seeds, sow them there. Um, I've got to give a shout out to John, not my John, different John, John who listens to the pod, who sits in front of me um, in the stand and is a pod listener, and I didn't know he was a pod listener. And also sends us in some comments on Twitter, and he sent us some chants and stuff in. Um, I got very animated, and I think I must have said the phrase "for fuck's sake" about 12 times. And I put my head in my hands towards just before Harry scored his try. And I was like, I promise myself every time I come, I'm not going to get annoyed. I'm not going to shout at the ref. And I'm not going to swear. And John just turned around from his seat in front of me and went, you say that every week on the pod, Sam. I was just like, Oh, you listen then. So John, I promised you I'd say hello. So hello. Um, I hope I keep you entertained, but John, as a pod listener, can attest that the way that I am on the podcast with my exuberance is exactly the way that I am when I'm watching. So when Rod said my personality on the tin matches,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
it
There's
very much does.
rest assured, guys, there's no change.
There isn't none at all. Um, and it's all about being authentic for me, and I'm authentically myself. Um, but um, looking ahead to Montauban or Montauban, whichever way you say it, really.
Montauban?
Montauban, Montauban, Montauban,
You can't think about it too much. You just got to let the end come out quickly.
Montauban. It sounds like a dodgy pub singer, doesn't it? Like in that. You're not. Did you know you're too young to have ever seen Vic and Bob's Club Singer on
I
Vic
know
and
I
Bob?
know Vic and Bob, but I don't know that one
Yeah.
specifically.
So
No.
there was a segment on there where they do Club Singer,
Hmm.
and having worked in a pub and a working man's club myself, singers of a certain age will have like a certain thing. So you can't understand a word that they're saying, but it's very much it's that. So I think we've just got to go with a monobone. That's what it's going to be now.
Okay.
But to anybody older who's watched Vic and Bob, you'll know exactly what I'm saying. And I can also do let's call down the dove from above. Ha ha, ha ha. Again, you don't know what any of that means, but
I'm
people of
I'm
a
just
certain
leaving you do
age
your
will
thing
know
for the
that.
moment.
Guys, please comment on YouTube or on Spotify that you actually know what I'm talking about. And I'm not in some of this like Mandela effect thing where only I'm remembering anything. So they're currently sitting at 13 in the top 14 at the moment. So they're not doing very well at all in top 14. In fact, their points difference is horrendous. It's like 272 points against them at the moment in the table. Um, they played last Saturday and they lost against Zebra. What are turning into little dark horses, really, and they've had a bit of an epiphany of Zebra. So we were talking about Montauban being 13 in the table, quite a hefty points difference against them at the minute. And they lost to Zebra last weekend. Zebra are obviously having a bit of an epiphany this season with the
Mm,
results that they've managed to pull out of the bag. So, um, a nice mean feat for Zebra. But I was saying that we travel quite well. We've gone out to places like Montpellier, we've gone to Leicester and won. So we've gone to some pretty epic places with people who are in far better positions, tables and points wise than Montauban, and we've come away with a W in the column. So I don't personally think that it's something where we need to go out and be afraid.
yeah.
I think there was talk of Dan being rested and potentially still Dairy because he's out in Dubai on holidays at the minute, isn't he? So I think it depends on the rotation really that we've got going out to again. It'll be interesting to see, um, what happens. Um,
Yeah.
but
That that's
I
a
don't think it's
big
a fixture that we need to be overly worried about.
no. That's an interesting point you made about us traveling well, because that is a big unspoken pro of the travel associated with the URC, isn't it? It gets all the players familiar with and used to taking weekly flights
Like,
abroad and playing teams in different places at different climates, staying in unfamiliar environments. So obviously the Welsh regions have that experience playing for an
yeah,
international league. The French and English teams, by comparison, they only get that once a year for five, maybe six, maybe seven fixtures, depending on how far they go in the European competition. So
yeah,
they don't do that for the majority of the year. So yeah, we probably do have a slight advantage in that sense, isn't it? Just being able been used to the idea, the premise of going away and winning on the road and
Yeah,
fronting up and not just sending a scratch team and concentrating on your home games, but actually accepting that in the URC, in our league, you have to win away games as well as home games to be able to get anywhere and to get into
yeah,
that top eight. So yeah, I'm confident of our ability to go out there and and beat a team that's just hovering above the bottom of the top
yeah.
14.
And
Yeah, there's no reason why we shouldn't. And I think, yeah, that there'll probably be a couple of choice starting players rested, but with the rotation of the Wales boys back into the squad that we have been missing for the last
yeah,
week or two, I think that'll, lift the baseline up further than it's been for the last two fixtures against Edinburgh and
yeah,
Christ, my brain's just gone blank. Who did we play on the weekend?
Connacht.
Connacht.
And with
Uh,
that points difference that they got against them, it clearly shows that defensively,
yes, yes,
272 points, like that's a lot of tries scored against you.
yeah,
So if hopefully the backroom lads have done their due diligence and seen where their weakness is defensively, so we can really, you know, capitalize on that because there's
yeah,
no reason why we can't do that with, the form that we've got then at the minute with, Phil,
yeah,
with Dan, with Dan Casende. Fingers crossed that he's okay because I'm not quite sure why he was off for a knock on Sunday. I forgot to look at that. But again, looking at, Bosch up, Phil. Um, good news as well that we're looking like Owen Watkins is
mm,
making a comeback as well. So it's good to have
yeah,
that strength and depth and experience there as well. And obviously return of possibly Morgan Morris as well. So
yeah.
um, I don't think we have anything to be afraid of by going, but
No.
I do think we'll benefit from having those players rotating back in.
We should be targeting top of our pool now. It's as simple
Yeah,
as that. Because that's well within our capability. I
yeah,
think if we win on the weekend now with bonus points, we're guaranteed qualification. I haven't worked out the
yeah,
permutations, but I'd be very surprised if after that we don't qualify because it's the top four out of six in each pool qualify for the
yeah,
knockout rounds. So yeah, I think it's a case of targeting every game to try get the top of that pool and get the best draw for the knockouts, try get the home fixtures.
yeah. And I think you've got to like you've got to you've got to target that now. You've got to
Hmm.
get something out of that. And I think Europe is traditionally somewhere where we've had okay success and we've managed to get out of our group, and into kind of the knockoff stages. So we need to be consistently targeting
Yeah,
targeting that. Um, and I think we've got a really good, strong basis coming now of the identity of how we want to play.
yeah.
Um, and I can't remember who I said it to on Sunday, but I think once we click, we'll click, if
Here-
that makes sense.
Here's a question to ponder. We keep hearing about the permutations of going down to three teams when it comes to URC and the commitments we've made to that as a league, as one of the
Yeah,
stakeholders. Um, I haven't heard any word on how it would impact the European competitions and whether the WRU would also be expected to front up for
all
each
for
of those
that.
competitions. In theory, it would be an easier competition to just reintegrate one other
Yeah,
team from another nation or from a new nation. But I wonder if there is in writing
the mechanics around that.
yeah, an
Yeah, I haven't even
obligation to
thought of
commit
that.
four teams. Because then my thinking is, do we go harder on Europe, hoping
Um,
for promotion into the Champions Cup next
Champions
season,
Cup, yeah.
making us have an even larger fine or making it even harder for the WRU to get rid of us? Because we're going to be in the URC no matter what. They've got that fine. If the
Yeah,
fine for withdrawing from Champions Cup rather than Challenge Cup is an order of magnitude larger, then what a way to
yeah.
just like stick it to the WRU and
It's
go,
a big
right,
FU,
okay,
isn't it? It really,
now
really
you're
is.
going to draw real attention because you're trying to cut a team from the Champions Cup, not the
Jens Cup.
Challenge Cup, which
Yeah.
everybody seems to forget about and not talk about on all the podcasts. So maybe
I
there's
think I'll have to
something
ponder that.
tactical there
Yeah,
where we,
that's worth pondering, that is.
yeah,
Um,
screw the
and
league, just target Europe and just try get that
yeah,
qualification.
yeah. And out of the regions really on the weekend, then you know, looking at the results that there were, Dragons quite happily beaten by Perpignan. Um, Scarlets lost by 1 point to the Bears and that LRZ um try. He had a lot of grief when he scored that try, of him. Lot of booing and a lot of stuff going on. You know, and Cardiff were quite happily pumped by Stade out in Paris. So we are the only region that came away with a win on the weekend. Lots of talk of it being a Cardiff second string team that went out to France. Um, and again, I suppose we can bring the news in really where just announced before we came on to record was Ethan Lewis going on a short-term loan to
Hmm.
Cardiff, and the statement that Mark said was that we've got strength and depth in that hooker position, and
Yeah.
it's going to be valuable for him to be on loan with Cardiff because he's going to get valuable playing time and minutes and help him maintain his match fitness for when we need him during international period or injury cover, etc. So
I'm a big fan of Ethan Lewis. I'm a
yeah,
paid up member of the fan club. I think he's such a good, solid player at this level. We have got depth there. Obviously, we saw a little bit of Lewis Lloyd over the past couple of weeks, or up in Edinburgh, we saw him, didn't we, playing in
yeah,
the back row, and that really impressed everybody. So I wonder if Mark is just going, right, okay, Lewis is a bit younger. Let's keep his development in house. Whereas Ethan Lewis, he is what he is.
yeah,
He's a developed player. He's a fully developed player, and he's probably playing at the level that he is going to end up playing at, without,
yeah.
being brutal, because there's no shame in that. You can be a really good
But we said that last
regional
week, didn't we?
player, exactly. So I think he'll benefit more than any of the hookers in our squad from going away and doing a bit of a sabbatical in another team and just picking up what he can from those environments.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, yeah.
I'm
I
I'm
think
just
that's good.
I think it's good. I'm just waiting for
Keep
the
him match
rumor.
fit as well.
I'm think just waiting for the rumor mills to start. Um, but it's the old two and two makes 12. Um, but it's so I'm looking forward to it. Again, it's a nice early kick-off. I have warned my mum I'm going to have my dye touched up because believe it or not, guys, bright like plummy red is not my natural colour. Um, and so it's a 3:15 kick-off, I think, French time. So I think it's being shown live on S4C, possibly.
Hmm.
I'm sure I saw it being played live on S4C or it's on Prem. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Team should be announced on Thursday. So again, looking forward to see what we've picked with regards to that. Um, but quick roundup. I know we've just discussed the other regions. Um, they didn't come away with any success, bless them. Um, very hard day at the office for all of them. Um, we've had a we've had a bit of a dig at Scarlets about their crowd, apparently 6.5 down crowd. Yeah, okay.
It's
Um,
so funny, isn't it? Because everyone just sees through it.
why
Like,
inflate it? Like
yeah.
I'd gone up to
Well, these are the stats and figures that WRU are using to make their decision. False
bullshit,
attendance
like
stats coming out of Turkland.
it's
Yeah.
bullshit. Honestly,
Hmm.
I I was up in Stockport on Friday. I went to my work's Christmas do, which was amazing. Um, I've got to say, no expense was spared for this work do. I was super, super impressed. But I was traveling home via train on Saturday, and I got delayed because of there was some really bad flooding around Gloucester, Hereford way. And then they had cows on the line. So it took me like ages to get home. And I was stuck on the platform in Cardiff for ages. So I was absolutely freezing. So I got home, had a bath, tottled downstairs, and I was like, oh, have I missed it then? Because I was looking at the telly and it looked it just like all you could see the fully west is best. And then you had pockets of people here, there, and everywhere. And I realised then it was only half time. So I was like, where is everybody? And then when I saw the attendance figures, I was like, hmm, not what
Yeah,
I saw on
7,000
telly.
people would make a lot more noise than that.
And I
Just
think they
naturally,
would,
just by being there, you know.
yeah. And they were all probably Bears fans as well. That were there, like, do you know what I mean? But talking of stats as well, I don't know if you had a chance to see all your Scrum 5 from last week where they had Jamie Roberts and Tom Shanklin on.
Probably. I probably did, yeah.
Jamie Roberts talking, to be honest with you, go back to being a doctor, mate. You're doing my head in now. He
Oh,
was talking
talking
about
about the
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 data and
justification and
everything
yeah,
else.
yeah, yeah.
I'm like, Pinocchio, they're pulling your strings. Like, behave
I mean,
yourself now.
he answered the obvious and easy stuff with fluffy answers, and then anything too difficult, he said, "Oh,
He
I'm a
just
non-executive member of the board, and I
remember,
don't have the
yeah.
answers on that." So,
You know,
um,
I hate it, or any reasonable, right-minded person who'd seen the data that we've seen over the last couple of months would come to the same conclusion. What a bollocks. Don't talk nonsense. If you'd seen that data before the review went out, you should have put that data in there. Half the data in your survey was shit anyway. It didn't stand up to scrutiny at all. So he annoyed me, but I did. I'm Tom Shanklin to me is a little bit marmitey. I've got to be in the mood for it, you know. Um, but he was quite good on there with what he was pushing back and pushing, with Jamie on there. So
what
keep
I'll
doing the
say is,
good.
I love Tom Shanklin on the Flats and Shanks pod where they barely talk rugby,
I
and
know.
you don't have to hear their opinions about on and off field matters.
I like the overlap rugby. With Scott Cornell's gone on there to praise Lawrence Delalio. Tom Shanklin's on there. Kate Wasserface from the Roses, and then they get people in. So I like that podcast because they get a mixture of like retired players on, but young players. They had Pollock on, and that was a really funny episode. Um, so I love that as a podcast as well. I love
Right,
Stick to
stop promoting
Rugby.
our competition now.
Sorry, but I
Do you
love
think we're
Stick to
nipping
Rugby
at
as
their
well.
heels?
Well, we're in someone's Spotify Wrapped for the year,
Yes, we are. We
which
are.
is amazing. Um, but news-wise, then
We
it's
said Ethan
depressing.
Lewis has gone to
Red
Cardiff, but
Ethan
there's a
Lewis is
couple of
going to Cardiff. We
bigger.
some rumours doing the rounds that Derby is close to signing for Gloucester. It was written by Steph Thomas. Steph Thomas is a Turk. I'm not sure how much I believe that. They said Jack is close to signing for Saris. Spoke to Jack on Saturday. I didn't ask him, but he said he's starting his rehab in Owen Watkins hyperbaric oxygen chamber this week. So good luck to him. Um, and it's just been a quiet sort of, I say quiet news week or a news cycle, but it's the same old, which quite frankly, we say it every week. We can't be asked to talk about, not gonna lie.
Hmm. On the rumored moves, there's very rarely smoke without fire, is there? I think the only instance that I can think of rumors not materializing over the last couple of seasons is Fender, when there were those rumors that he was going elsewhere
Yeah,
in Wales Online. I can't remember
France,
who. France it was, wasn't it? Yeah, and that just didn't materialize, and he actually
there's not.
himself came out pretty quickly and put those to bed. with
Yeah,
just, messages to people on Instagram and that sort of thing behind the scenes. Not much of that is happening around Dewi and Jack, so I'd
I'd be
probably imagine that
devastated.
they're pretty much done. My only hope, and what I wanted to jump in and say, is that Ospreys have got enough to offer one of them a good deal, and they're waiting to see which one sort of signs a new contract first so that they can go, right, okay, now we have the money available
To do
from
this.
losing that player. Now, Jack or Dewi, we can make you a bigger, better offer. So I'm hoping maybe that's still a possibility because there's no reason why we shouldn't have the budget to offer one of
No.
them. If we're releasing one, to be able to offer the other one a better package going forwad that's more
Yeah, and
representative of their level.
I am not going to be one like gutted, yes, 100%, but I'm not going to be one of these people who sits there and says, I can't blame them for looking elsewhere because some of the money being talked
Yeah.
about, like 250 grand a year, that's not to be sniffed at when I don't want to say kids because I don't mean it in a demeaning way, but when you're a young lad, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's that's
But
good
I'm
money in
sure
it.
they would love the opportunity to stay in Swansea. They're both proper
Absolutely.
homebodies. They love their team. They love their teammates.
They are
Um,
not.
they love the environment. It's clear as day. They're going because the WRU have created conditions that aren't favourable to keeping our best stars in Wales. And it just
Tips
makes
have
me
come out,
angry
don't
at
they?
them. I have no animosity towards the club, none towards the players. Just makes
No,
me angry at the WRU that they've
no
created a condition where our two current, if you want to call them
captains.
captain and vice captain, or two co-captains, the two most prominent and famous and best players in Wales, are both going to leave under their watch from the most successful team in Wales. It's
It's a
it's
piss take.
mental. It's mental.
It's a
And I know
piss
they want
take.
more powers to be able to step in and control this stuff, which it sounds like we're arguing for, like their ability to um, just give
I wouldn't
Ospreys
trust them to control
a
the thermostat on my
tax-free,
heating.
interest-free cash injection just to retain these players. Um,
Honestly, I wouldn't
and
trust
that's
them to
not
open my front door.
no, that's not what I'm asking for. But the conditions that they've created over the last 5, 10 years have now resulted
It's
in our best
horrendous.
and brightest leaving and
It's
going across the border to ply their trade, to bring in crowds, to sell bums on seats in whatever new team they end up at instead of ours. Yeah,
yeah, I hate it. I absolutely hate it that we find ourselves in this position through pure mismanagement. It's not through anything. That's all you can say is mismanagement and future proofing. They've not future proofed. That's what gets to me big style.
I'm stress
Even
eating
tips have come
chocolate
out.
now.
You stress eating chocolate, okay.
Yeah.
Um, the even tips has come out this week and said the uncertainty's not great, and you know how
Mhm.
quiet he is. Um, do you know what? He looked really. I had a picture with him, and John was like, "That to him, Rod's going to be gutted that he's missed you again." Um, but he looked really, really well. Um, he had a really nice tan for some bizarre reason, but he looked nice and rested, and he looked, we were taking the piss out of him about being a defence coach, and with those 3 tries in the first half, and but he looked quite relaxed in his coaching role, which was really nice to see. It's
I think
obviously
it's given
something that
him
he's enjoying.
I think it's given him more family time as well, or more time to
Yeah,
just be himself as a family man, opposed to, a professional rugby player as a family man. My cousin sent me paparazzi shots of him the other day because my cousin's daughter plays footy with Justin Tipperick's daughter or daughters,
yeah, she's
and
really good as
Tipperick
well,
coaches the
apparently.
team. So it's a photo of Tips like standing in the goal line playing rugby with a load of little
Yeah,
little kids, and it was lovely to see. But somebody needs to get the message across to him that his daughters are playing the wrong sport.
yeah, but perhaps that's where they talents lie in it. We're not gonna
Yeah,
we're not
yeah.
gonna hate on sport on this on the pod. Um, but it was, and it was so nice that our players really stayed out after the game as well. Told Jack Walsh he had the best cheekbones in URC. told Don Edwards that, come on now, boy, that's 10 shirts yours, innit? And Ratty, the cheeky bastard, made me stand on a step to have a picture with him. He said, do you want to stay by there and I'll stay down here? Cheers, James. It was nice though because I got to see Ratty's dad, and Ratty's dad works or knows my brother and knows John. Um, and I said, "Oh, I'm Gary's sister," and he went, "Yeah, I can tell." So I obviously look like my brother, which was quite nice. So a nice bit of chatting after. Bundy and pals, buggered off back in quite quickly. So I think we've got a nice stretch of games coming for us now. Um, with Montauban, then we've got Munster, then we've got our Scarlets Boxing Day derby, and we've got Cardiff on New Year's Day. I love a New Year's Day fixture. I'm not gonna lie. And I booked the second off work, so it's quite a nice long weekend for me. Other news, Alan Wynne Jones is getting quite far in MasterChef.
Oh, good. I haven't managed to catch up, so I think I'm
He's
gonna.
cooking with his rum a lot, although he's not allowed to say it's his
Oh,
rum.
is he?
Yeah, every dessert he has seems to have rum in it,
Okay, okay.
which I think is quite interesting.
So what could that
You
be?
know,
A spiced sticky toffee pudding,
he did what he called a
rum and
trifle.
raisin ice cream.
You could put it in anything, really, couldn't you? He did a deconstructed banana and chocolate ganache trifle with rum.
They love to deconstruct something, don't they?
Yeah,
Just makes more work for us.
you know. But it looked lovely. It did look really, really nice, and the chocolate looked like silky and smooth. Um, I gotta be honest, I'd be crap going on there. My star dish would be noodle a la pot, you know.
What flavour
Or
noodle a la pot, though?
pot noodles now don't taste like pot noodles did when you were allowed to put all the additives and shit in it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I
if you'd
bet,
have
I
asked me
bet.
20 years ago, it would definitely be beef and tomato.
Hmm.
Now I like the chicken and the mushroom, but I've got to add extra soy sauce for the saltiness.
Well, yeah, it probably doesn't have MSG in it anymore or something, but you can buy
Yeah.
that by the bag full. Just add it in yourself. I'm sure that is the exact missing ingredient. You put a pinch of that in, it'll just take you back to nostalgia land. Pot noodles in the 90s.
You know what, though? Crisps as well. Someone did a thing the other day where they measured a bag of crisps now versus a bag of crisps like 20 odd years ago. And they've literally halved in size. It's like, what, 32 grams or something in a bag of crisps now? It used to be 50,
Yeah, yeah,
which is insane when you think
yeah.
about it. But that's inflation for you.
It's probably a good thing because like these grab bags and these like party bags and sharer bags of crisps, I can't leave a bag of crisps half eaten, no
No,
matter how big it is. If I start a bag, I'm finishing it. So sometimes if I know I shouldn't be eating too much sodium, I will buy a smaller bag of crisps just to
yeah.
remove temptation from my path.
Well, on my desk today, I've been snacking on from Aldi the root vegetable crisps with
Oh,
like
I
the
do like
beetroot and
those.
parsnip. They got
Yeah.
them in because it's Christmas again. But then I also grabbed from the drawer downstairs, which I think I bought, but I didn't buy them for me because obviously I'm still dieting. Was honey caramelized. I've got them by you. Honey caramelized nuts.
We can't hear you when you move away from the mic. What was that?
Caramelized honey nut selection.
Mm.
Very tasty.
See, that's the best part about Christmas, isn't it? You get all like the speciality, fancy snacks, and yeah, yeah.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
What I
Crisps
don't want
wise,
though, I don't want anything Christmas flavored, like with that
pigs in
uniquely
blankets and
Christmassy
yeah,
spice
not for
mix
me.
with lots of ginger and cinnamon in it. I'm not into cinnamon, so
Oh, I
avoid the
like
Christmas
cinnamon.
flavored stuff, but I like all the Christmas themed snacks. Yeah.
Well, this would have blown your mind. Did you know that you could have an edible inflatable balloon?
No, and I'm struggling to even comprehend what that means.
I'll send you a video. At my staff Christmas party on Friday, I thought it was a candy floss machine, but there was a candy floss machine there, but it wasn't. So know the strawberry laces. like the
Yeah.
licorice. That, but with like a sugar. I can't say paste because it's not a paste because literally you put a pipe into it and blow it up and put the lace through it, and it's an
Okay.
edible balloon. So you pop the balloon and then you quickly
It's got to be some
put
sort of
the
gelatin
sugar
or something,
paste. Or
isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's
it
interesting.
was in,
That's some Charlie and the Chocolate Factory stuff right there,
I'll
isn't
have to
it?
send it to
That's
you. I will have to
lickable
send it to
wallpaper
you.
territory.
Really strange, really strange.
Yeah.
I'll have to send it
Yeah.
to you because I it like blew my mind.
I have been to
Um,
the Cadbury's factory before, where at the end you enter this amazing room full of every single topping or treat that you can add to chocolate behind the counter. And you basically get to fill up a cup with biscuit bits, fruit, marshmallows, honeycomb, whatever
yeah,
you
make your own
want.
bit.
And then there's a flowing tap of melted chocolate that you then just cover everything in that cup and just like top it all up with liquid
It's not for
chocolate.
me. That's not for me.
I haven't got a hugely sweet tooth, honestly. It does make me a bit ill thinking about it. But as a kid, when I went there, it was
I
the
bet
thing
that
of
was like,
dreams, wasn't it?
yeah. Um, I very much like I love chocolate buttons.
Hmm.
Um, love no because you can get giant chocolate buttons now and you can get giant chocolate buttons. I won't say no to the giant or the giant ones, but I do like the little ones. Like they're my
Hmm.
favorite. And there's something about a tube of Smarties at Christmas that
Mm.
just is insane. Um, but it's one of those things really where it's just like, oh yeah, Christmas you just spend time. Again, it's another reason to eat in the name of Jesus, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Toblerones, Frere Rocher.
I love a
What's
Fred.
the white Frere Rocher called? Raffaello. Love a
Rapalo with a
Raffaello.
coconut.
Yeah, yeah. Those are in
It
fact,
is.
I prefer them to the classic Frere
Do
Rochers.
you?
Yeah, yeah. Terry's chocolate orange. They seem to have about a million different
I love the
variations on the
chocolate
classic
orange.
now.
Have you seen the
There's
one with
dark ones,
the
there's caramel ones, there's honeycomb ones, there's
popping
mint
candy?
ones, popping candy. Yeah,
It's
we
popping
get one in our
candy.
stock in every year.
Do you?
A chocolate orange, yeah, yeah, yeah. Or I do
My
anyway. My brothers were more fussy growing up. They wouldn't have liked it.
my mother does us a bag of sweets. Um, so she'll put stuff in there for John. That's purely for John. She puts stuff in there. That's purely for me. Um, but I had to like pull the reins in on her and be like, "Mum, come on now, you've got to stop buying. We can't eat all these sweets because we're usually eating them till like April.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely insane. Um, but we're in rando territory.
So just before that, you said you're eating them into April. So every year, Mum makes me a Christmas cake with
Yeah,
marzipan on the top and a nice display with all the nuts and a little glacé cherry in the middle. And I usually cut it into sections, freeze freeze
it
the
lasts
majority of
forever.
it, and yeah, just take it out throughout the year. And I'm eating Christmas cake all year. I've just realised we're what 20 days away from Christmas. No, 15
Yeah.
days away from Christmas. And I've still got two big hunks of it in the freezer from last Christmas. So I need
Well,
to get those out defrosted now and eat them before the 25th.
does she
Because
feed it
I
with the
don't think you can
alcohol?
take it into two Christmases away. That seems like it's bad form.
Um, th that used to be the thing with your wedding cake when you
Mm,
were when you were younger. And literally your bottom layer of your cake would always be fruit cake, and then you'd keep that for the christening of your baby.
oh,
But does she
really?
does she, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's what
Didn't
you
know
would
that.
do.
Didn't know that.
Um, and that was the kind of thing. Now, I'm not good with texture, so fruitcake to me looks and smells amazing, and I
Yeah.
wish I could eat it. But the only thing I like on it is the marzipan and the icing.
Love
So,
marzipan.
oh, it is
Yeah.
literally.
I just like
I
anything
love
with a strong.
almond.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Nuts and yeah. And it's that malty flavor of a fruit loaf that I love. So
Yeah,
Amy made like a malty, fruity soda bread
Oh,
recently.
nice.
And for that, she bought a big old jar of malt extract. I've got into the
Yeah,
really bad habit of putting a half a teaspoon of it in my cups of tea, because it's really tasty. It tastes like you've dropped like a milk biscuit or like a vanilla biscuit or a malt biscuit into your tea and
I
just let
love
it dissolve
malted
and
milk.
stirred it in without it affecting like the texture. It's really, really, really good. So yeah, I don't know if anybody out there has it in their cupboard, but if you do, probably not. But if you do, stick a spoonful of it in your tea. It's absolutely banging.
I love Horlicks.
Is
Absolutely
that one
love
of these malt
Horlicks.
drinks like
It's
Ovaltine or
malt,
something?
Ovaltine and Horlicks. I
Yeah,
um absolutely love that. Um, it's a proper granny drink,
yeah.
but it does actually help you
It's
drop
good though,
off.
isn't it? It's like hearty and warming.
Well,
I understand why they drink it.
if it works for like other people, like it worked in olden generations, so why is it not going to work for us? Like
Hmm.
it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Um,
They need somebody to do an ad campaign. Get
yeah,
it back in everyone's cupboards.
someone cool in it. Like who could you? Yeah, who could you ask to front?
Alaman Jones needs to do an Ovaltine spiced rum
Oh,
crossover.
can you imagine? Oh, can you imagine? That would be absolutely banging. But we're in Rando territory,
Hmm.
and
I feel like all we've done today is chit chat. We barely talked
that's
rugby,
all
but it's
right though,
great.
because
It's fun.
it's our 50th episode, so it's
Yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
good.
It's a
And
celebration.
in tune with that, what do you think you're going to be like as a 50-year-old?
Well, Amy says I'm grumpy as an old man anyway, and I am. I am a grump. Like things annoy me, things upset me. I hold on to them. I bury them deep inside, and I carry the bitterness around with me in my
Do you?
day-to-day life. So no, I am a grumpy old man. I have old man hobbies. I just like to be at home, spending time by myself, doing my little jobs and stuff. I probably am 20 years my senior in terms of mentality.
Why we get
Um,
on?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just give me a free weekend and I can potter on the garden and clip leaves off my bonsai trees and do a little bit of woodwork and
I love that for you.
yeah.
I love that for
So that'll
you.
be me. I hope to be living the life that I'm living now. I'm getting the practice in early so that by the time I'm 50, I'll be, a skilled
Zen,
hand.
zen.
Yeah.
I'm obviously got a year and a half to go to 50. And other than like the partying and the drinking, I'm pretty much the same now as I was then. I'm perhaps a
Flip it
little
for
bit
you
more
then.
sensible.
What would you say as a almost 50-year-old to your 30-year-old self about what 50 would be like?
Oh God. Um, I thought, um, oh God, advice I'd probably give to myself was I'd met John by 30.
Hmm.
We were engaged, setting up house and everything else. And you I would say you always think you've got a life path that you're going to follow. So I wouldn't have thought I'd be 48 without kids. But through like fertility and everything else, that's just the way my life has ended.
Hmm.
And it is what it is. And I'm really proud of us as a couple that we came through that because lots of people don't come through that. So I'd probably give myself advice of don't wait, start trying for baby earlier, identify problems earlier.
Hmm.
But I'd also say enjoy the ride because you've got one hell of a 20 years coming up. Like
Hmm.
there's lots of things that don't get me wrong, it's not been without its roller coaster moments, But you know what? I'd say shake them off because it does get better,
Mm.
and you end up doing things that you really love and you really enjoy, and you just embrace things about yourself that perhaps you normally wouldn't have done. So don't give yourself too much of a hard time, because I can guarantee nobody in my life will ever give me a harder time than I give myself and judge myself.
Yeah.
Like,
And
but
all the best plans are laid to waste, aren't they? You try to follow
absolutely,
too strict a path, and you're only disappointed when you step off
when
that
it
path
doesn't
or have to find
happen,
a different route.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's horses for courses. Like there's friends of mine that would love to be in the position that I'm in because kids are doing their head in, but I'd love to flip reverse that. I'd love to be in their position. So be
Yeah.
careful what you wish for because you may just
Yeah. Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but
Very
30
deep.
year old me, 30-year-old me was a bit of a firecracker, not gonna lie. It's a bit of a
Hmm.
bugger. Drank, drank Jack Daniels by the litre, lied to bouncers on doors in pubs in Ireland to get myself into two's nightclub by telling them I'm an actress on Poblicum. Can't speak a word. Can't speak a word of Welsh. Um,
Yeah, you're the English foreigner in Poblicum.
Poblicum, yeah.
You're the
Um,
one who, when every time you walk into a shop, they all start speaking Welsh.
yeah, pretty much. They'd be like, ugh, local. But I just say, keep your eyes open, get on the ride, keep your eyes open, enjoy the ride.
Hmm.
And
Very
I'm
nice.
determined. I'm going to end up in my coffin, going and kicking and screaming. I ain't going in quietly. Rage against dying of light, man.
What about advice from a 50 cap podcaster to a one cap podcaster like we were just over a year ago?
Oh God, let it grow naturally. Be
Mm,
yourselves. Don't try and be something that you're not. Don't try and copy anybody else. Stay in your lane. Try
hmm.
things out. If it works, great. If it doesn't, and most of all, interact with the people who listen to you.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the best thing that we've done is interact and create a community around
yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more. I mean, like our only aspiration with this is just to keep it going. We're not like obsessing over growing or, you know, oh, 500 subscribers is in our sites, help us reach it. We're just happy just enjoying it and not making it like a stressful thing, aren't we? Because
Yeah,
that's when it becomes unenjoyable. And as most people who listen will know, I do most of the social media and that side of things. And if I've done lots of social media in the past, particularly around like a nature account on Instagram that I had that got quite a big following at one point, and it is stressful. You stop
yeah.
enjoying exactly what you're doing it for. You just become obsessed around like working the
The likes
algorithms,
and the
posting at the
clicks.
right time, just engaging for the sake of it, just to try and, boost the algorithms and boost engagement. And it just takes the joy out of it. So I think something I said from the very start is I'm happy, doing all the bits and doing the behind the scenes work, but I'm not gonna stress
Can't
over
stress
it.
about it. No.
Yeah, yeah. So
And
we just meet up once a week and we just chat, and then
yeah,
the
we are
episode gets out
authentically
when it gets
ourselves.
out.
Yeah, we are authentically ourselves and we don't apologize for that. And we shouldn't apologize for that. Because do you know what? Someone said to me that they like listening to us because it's like listening to your mates down the pub, having a conversation,
Mhm.
and it's just really chatty, friendly. I love it when people come up to me and say, "All right, Sam, I wish you'd say your name so I know who you are." But I love it when people come up, like John on a Sunday. Oh, I listen to the pod, Sam, and you say this every week. I love that because he can see in real life I'm the way that I am on you. I'm not any different. I'm not, fake. It's lovely that the players recognise who we are and say hello to us. Um, and for me, that's been really, really nice as well. But it's lovely being on this journey with you and Mark because I genuinely think I've made good, solid friends.
Yeah. And Mark, on that, Mark won't mind us saying that he's just going through some family issues at the moment, so he hasn't been available at all times. He's just got his priorities, and we're not top of the list as you wouldn't expect us to be. So he's just dealing with some other stuff at the moment, but he's still part of the group, and he's still hoping to spend as much time doing this as he can commit at the moment.
This is really good for all of us. Sorry, I'm having a coughing fit. I'm not crying because we're on pod 50. Um,
It's all
I
just
gotta
too
be honest,
much.
it's got to be really bad for me to cry. I never cry, unless it involves animals or dogs. But we've found really good friendships with each other. Sunday I text Rod to say, look, my lot are dropping like flies because of the flu. Come over and sit by us. You know, Rod sat next to Andrew and Neil, didn't sit next to me. You know, had those conversations. So you're part of my little cookie crew now, Rod. And that's what I think it is. It's very natural between all of us. It's not forced. And we just love coming on here and having a bit of a natter, really, don't we?
Yeah,
As
yeah.
random as it sometimes is.
Hmm.
So this has been episode 50. I swear we
The
are
big
having it.
one.
It's the big one, the big 50. Um, and we'll keep doing this as long as you want to keep listening. And again, I look like I'm crying, but I'm not really.
We'll keep going even if you don't want to keep listening.
Yeah, we're literally like just gonna keep going. Um, Sending all our love to Mark. As Rod said, life is very much life in for Mark at the minute, and we miss having you on and chatting to you, buddy, because you are, you know, the
The
calm
brains
one,
of the
really.
operation.
Brains of the operation. Yeah. Listen, if we're relying on me to be the brains of the operation, we're fucked. Not gonna lie. Um, but good luck to the lads out in France on the weekend,
Yeah.
and wish them all the best. Travel well as you always do. Go out, do yourselves proud, do us proud. And I think we should sign off and say this is episode 50. And if we do it
I'm lying a
together,
Gwyl.
I'm Lila Gwish.